Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/am I the asshole for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading the post, giving you my thoughts and opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Recent Flatworm, 1557. Am I the asshole? Asked a neighbor to move their little farm stand because people are stealing from my garden. Now, before anyone says, just build a fence, we can't afford it right now. And no HOA. Anyways, sounds like someone did not have a good time in the comments. My neighbors set up one of those pantry/farm stands where people can take items that they grew in their garden. Pantry stuff, donated stuff, etc. In theory, it's a great idea, and especially in a time when life in America sucks ass and people are struggling to make ends meet, my family included. The problem: people started coming into my yard to pick things in my garden. I put up signs saying not to do it. I installed rabbit fence around the garden. I've angled a tarp so you can't see what's there from the road. People just hold their kids over the fence to pick tomatoes and beans or jump it. I ended up getting into an argument with a lady over it. I yelled, "Hey, stop, those are not for you to take." She told her kid to move faster and then tried to run away. I cut up to her and asked her what the fuck her problem was, and she turned it into, "How dare I swear in front of her child? Why am I so angry? Am I really that upset about a couple tomatoes?" I said I am upset that you're stealing from me. The next day, I approached my neighbor. I asked if I could maybe help move it to the other side of the driveway so it's next to the other neighbor's house. They don't have a garden out front. They said at least not until the end of the season. I asked if they could make larger signs, talk to people, just do something. They were like, "Can you really not afford to share?" I said that they aren't taking my zucchini because they're starving, they're taking my tomatoes because they want them. They said that I'm going to have to learn to live with it for now, and we can talk about a solution together that will benefit the whole community after. I said I do not care about a solution that benefits the whole community, I care about a solution that stops people from stealing from me. So, last night, it happened again. Man in his 50s. I sprayed his ass with the hose. He started yelling at me after a minute or so the neighbor came out yelling at me too. People have posted on the neighborhood board to be careful if they come by because I'm an asshole. The neighbor says I'm scaring people away from a community resource. I told him that I'm going to continue until he does something about the fucking thieves who feel entitled to my garden. I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind here. Am I the asshole for asking them to move it? Am I the asshole for being pissed off that people are fucking stealing from me? This is food for my family. First off, thanks for the responses. I got some good ones. I'm happy that so many of you live in places where the cops would do anything about this, but this isn't the reality I'm living. Cops here would not give a shit if I sent them a video of someone picking from my garden. They would laugh in my face. Be thankful if you live in a place where the police are useful. It looks like signs are the best option for now, going to make signs indicating heavy use of pesticides and repeating that they are stealing food from the mouths of hungry children. I don't know why the signs we already have up aren't enough. Maybe more will help. I'm sure they won't. We'll also scour Craigslist for free fencing or similar items. Hopefully that pans out. Definitely not the asshole. They're just stealing from your garden and you're just getting the responsive, what are you gonna do about it? Why are you so selfish about this community resource that's in your backyard? The garden that you spent the time and effort to plant and grow. Why aren't you just letting people take from it, huh? Also, I know it was probably just hyperbole, but I love the idea of just OP spraying this guy with a hose for a minute straight, and then only after a minute of being sprayed down did they finally start yelling to stop. Like, I know it was probably like a couple seconds, but still, just the idea of that is phenomenal. But I would say put up no trespassing signs, don't be afraid to spray more people, and just, I don't know, do what you can. Maybe put up a few beware of dog signs. What about you guys in the audience? What do you guys feel? How would you guys handle this approach? Unique excuse 4780. Am I the asshole for telling a lady to put her dog back in the carrier on the airplane? I, 35 male, had to fly to LA this morning on Delta, and I had an aisle seat. It was a smaller plane with 2 seats per side, no TV or movies on this flight, and I wasn't paying for Wi-Fi. So, just me and my music. 10 minutes into the flight, the lady, 40s, across the aisle, was moving around and trying to get in her personal item. She busts out a dog. In my head, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not dog friendly, so I tell the lady firmly, "You better put the dog back in the carrier." She says it's cramped in the carrier, and the dog would rather be in her lap. I tell her to put it away, or this can be a bigger scene for you. She reluctantly put it away. The rest of the flight, she would baby talk the dog and call me the asshole. I complained to the flight attendants after the flight. Am I the asshole? We're gonna read some comments on this one, and a little bit of a thought experiment at the end that I'm curious about. First comment thread from CatsLady123. Everyone sucks here because that lady should have kept her dog in the carrier, which is Delta's policy. And "you better put that dog back in the carrier" is just not how you talk to other people when you want them to do something for you out of the gate. Next time, just call the flight crew and ask them to handle it. FryDude58 responds, "Exactly! People thinking they're the ones to enforce the rules and regulations for others is a huge cause of people getting into huge confrontations. Get out of your seat and go talk to the flight crew if you don't want the other passenger to know it was you that ratted her out. At the very least, hit the call button and voice your concern, and be prepared for staff to not do what you want." Urban Dryad comments, "On the flip side, maybe if society got back to calling people out on their shit directly and bluntly, we wouldn't have an epidemic of people that don't know how to act running about. The guy was blunt, sure, but it's not like he insulted her or called her names." Malice IW comments, "You can be firm without being rude. Please put your dog back in the carrier. That's where they're supposed to stay. If she refuses, okay, I'll call a steward over. That's all that needed to be done. But saying, 'You better do what I want or I'm going to cause you problems,' is incredibly rude and aggressive." Next comment is from FewStill3958. "Not the asshole for asking her to follow the rules, but you're the asshole for being a dick about it. Ease up on the self-righteousness and life will get a lot more pleasant for you generally." Next comment from Bombshell Ivy. "So you, a man, told a woman, 'This can be a bigger scene for you,' after you, firmly, told her what to do, instead of calling a flight attendant. Instead of saying, 'Hey, I'm afraid of dogs, even small ones. Would you mind putting him away?' and allowing her empathy to take over, you decided to use your perceived power in this world to inform someone they may be in danger if they don't do what you demand them to do? Think about this from any other perspective of someone who is larger than you telling you what to do right now without any kind of warning or previous conversation. And they are bigger than you, and they seem threatening. Does that seem like an asshole? Yes, you're the asshole." I think my biggest issue that I have with OP's language is the statement of, "Put it away or this can be a bigger scene for you." That's like tattletale behavior and just extremely, arrogant, rude, gross, bunch of shit to throw in there. Just feels not good. But I do want to throw the question onto you guys because I'd be really curious to see where my audience lands on this. Do you guys feel that as a society we need to be more blunt and firm with telling people what they should not be doing? Or is being firm but polite the way to go, even if the message may not be initially received the first time around? Just this way you're not escalating conflict to where it doesn't need to go. I'd be really curious to see where people land on this one, because I can definitely see an argument for both sides of this, and I really think it boils down to a case-by-case basis. What's your view on this? And also, how would you react in a situation like this? Do you think OP was perfectly in line with how they reacted, or should they have been more polite with their wording? Let me know, because I'm definitely really curious to kind of just get the feelers out. Alistair's Queen. Am I the asshole for refusing to take medication so my mom could get drunk? I, 18 female, have had a constant problem with my mom, 37 female, I think, where she likes to get drunk every other night and blast music all night, preventing me from sleeping. Tonight, I snapped at her when I smelled alcohol in her, with my exact words being, "Are you drinking already?" And she came up to my room asking if she and I could talk. I said no, that I don't feel like talking to her while she's drinking, and that she can come back when she's sober. She tried to slide 20 through my door and asked me if I would accept $20 to Papa Benny, take Benadryl, to go to sleep so she could drunkenly blast music all night. I refused, and when she tried to reason with me, I said I have to work at 11 in the morning, and she insisted she would wake me up at 9. I answered that she doesn't get up until past noon, when she's drunk the night before, and she pressed on. I basically just said I can't trust her and that she's proven her words are empty. She made me slide her the 20 back, which I don't mind, and she left. Now she's in the garage pouting about not being able to blast her music. Still, some people on Reddit have sent me DMs when I post things complaining about my mom, saying things like, "She's just being silly," and "You'll regret saying things like this when she's dead." So now I have to know, am I the one being an asshole about her drinking? Commenter from user differentspinach227. Not the asshole. Your mom literally tried to pay you to drug yourself so she could party. That's not normal parenting. Alistair's Queen responds, I thought that was odd. I was just hesitant to use the word drugging since it wouldn't have been wholly against my will if she wanted me to do it to myself. Still though, she's just acting so incredibly childish. I can't wait to go to college in August. Thank God my dad is normal. With the final note of OP hopefully going to college soon and getting the hell out of this environment, yeah, not the asshole. Your mom is just, well, sounds like she's more interested in trying to be a friend and a cool party kid than actually being a mother. I can't even comprehend trying to slip your child the Benadryl so you could go downstairs and drink the night away while blasting music really loud. Hopefully OP can in fact get out of there safely. Hot Akin the Sitta. I have no idea. 978. Am I the asshole for telling my friend she can yank her child when she has one? Title sounds weird, I know, but I, 28 female, had a friend, 26 female, that I used to hang out with a lot. Recently we got into an accident where someone rear-ended me. I had my baby in the car, 3 months. After the crash, baby was absolutely hysterical. Of course she would be. My friend then tried to scramble in the mix of it to take her out of her car seat. I do admit I may have said it harshly to not remove baby from their car seat until first responders got to us. The car was not on fire, and we weren't in any mortal danger. On a normal day, anytime my baby gets to the point of hysteria, I soothe them, hug them, rock them, etc. That was a once-in-a-blue-moon occurrence I didn't. I kept trying to shush and soothe baby from the seat, but obviously she was scared and wanted her mama to hold her. At the hospital, both my friend and I got the all clear, and we were waiting on baby to be cleared. My friend went off on me, telling me I'm a bad mom for not removing baby from the car seat. I simply explained to her, it was better for baby to stay in the seat in case there was spinal damage. The seat keeps the spine aligned, and removing the baby from the car seat would cause further injury if there was already one. She kept berating me. I was frustrated already, and I told her when she has her own, and God forbid they get into a crash, she can yank her kid out of the car seat and do as she pleases. She got quiet and said I'm an asshole for bringing it up because she has trouble conceiving. She has PCOS and may not be able to carry a pregnancy to term. I don't think I'm the asshole for bringing up a hypothetical situation, or I don't know if my frustration got the best of me, and I was insensitive, but am I the asshole for making that statement? This does kind of roll back into the dog carrier one of being harsh, but firm. If OP hadn't been harsh with the fact of, hey, don't remove the baby from the car seat, that could have been bad. It's the same reason why after a motorcycle crash, you should never move the motorcyclist off of the ground and wait until paramedics arrive, because you don't know if there's any spinal damage that was done during the accident. Now, the comment at the end definitely could be seen as insensitive, but in the end, it was made in a heat-of-the-moment incident where she was constantly trying to call you a bad mother for the fact that you were trying to ensure your child's spine would be okay. I hope that you and your child make an excellent recovery, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that experience, and at the same time, the question here that OP is asking is really more about their comment they made towards their friend. I certainly don't think they're the asshole for trying to ensure their child's safety, but the question does come, which I've already semi-stated my opinion here on this. Was she the asshole for the comment that she made towards her friend? I'd be really curious to see what you all think on this one. Remote Jello 967. Am I the asshole for telling my OCD roommate to get over it? I'm Jewish. My roommate is not. Forgive me for any mispronunciations. I asked her if it was okay if I put up my mezuzah by our front door. For those who don't know, this is a small rectangular case that is affixed to the wall or door frame that holds a scroll. We are supposed to have it by our front door. She said it was fine. I ordered one and put it up. The mezuzah is supposed to tilt a little toward the door and not be straight up and down. I hung it the correct way, and she got angry, saying she needed it to be straight. I informed her that it isn't traditionally hung that way. I did straighten it, a little, but kept a slight tilt. She was still angry about it, like screaming angry. I reminded her that I endure the absolute explosion of Christmas decorations every year and never complained, and this was just a little piece of metal. She said this was different, since it set off her OCD. I said I would just take it down then. So, I took it down, and there were holes in the wall where I had screwed it into the wall. I paid for maintenance to fill them, but the fill he used is a slightly different shade than the rest of the wall, and apparently, that also sets off her OCD, and she's angry with me now. I was just so done with the whole situation and said she really just needs to get over it. She said I was the asshole for saying that, since she has OCD. Is she right? So, I myself, I don't have OCD, or at least I don't think I do, and because of this, I personally am not sure, but there are people in the comments section of this Reddit thread who do, and I thought I would take a look at some of their comments just so we can kind of see what people generally think, especially those who have OCD. Crabwalk Blurfing comments, she's the asshole. I'm diagnosed with almost extreme OCD, and I would never scream at a roommate or anyone for my problems. It would be quite difficult to endure something that triggered my OCD, but I would endure it for something like that. It's not on you to make her life as easy as possible. She kinda sounds like a brat. Throw RA Unstoppable responds, I don't know if the roommate actually has OCD. She's giving fake OCD from the post, but I feel like that is one of the situations, or any other heavy mental health related crises, where I'd be understanding if someone screamed at me or whatever. If you have a severe mental illness, you lose control a lot. Usually by yourself, but it can happen with other people. Obviously, this does not mean they have to put up with it, or that it is understandable in every situation without apologizing, actively trying to get better, long, etc., but I don't know. Appropriate Low 9491 responds, I agree with this. As someone with diagnosed OCD, it's giving self-diagnosis and a victim mentality. Next comment thread, Sunlight and Dog Hair. Hi, I have OCD. It gets worse when other people accommodate you like this. This is often something you get told in therapy. So, she's not in therapy. She's just raw dogging OCD and asking those around her to accommodate her worsening symptoms. You wouldn't even be helping her. Not the asshole. Professor Meow Meow comments, yeah, if she can't function in a roommate type situation, she shouldn't be in one. Unfortunately, for you, you might need to start looking for a new roomie. You asked first, you further accommodated and took it down. It's fair for your graciousness to have run out here. Life in Wentworth. This is it. It's not fair to others, especially roommates who aren't part of your support network, to put this stuff on them. She may need to live on her own or with family or someone who is more willing to support her through this stuff, which can involve calling her out for it and telling her to get help, rather than a roommate. That's such a different situation and dynamic and not OP's responsibility. I'm autistic and have ADHD and I live on my own for various reasons, but stuff like this is definitely one of them. I do need control over my living space and have no desire to live with others who can disrupt that. So, as someone who recently was nervous to call a blind person the asshole when they were in fact being the asshole, and kind of got softly flamed in the comments for it, thank you guys for checking me on that one, I've learned my lesson, and I do feel like that OP's roommate in this scenario would be the asshole, based on the comments that we just read and the understandings of other people with their diagnoses that I have since learned from. If this is not the case and Reddit comments are just being Reddit comments and objectively wrong as per usual, please let me know, because sometimes it's 50-50. Reddit's either right on the mark, or we have people who are going to be victim blaming. So let me know in the comments. Also, I know a lot of people have already made this joke, and I've made it a few times too, but I do love posts like, am I the asshole for telling my OCD roommate to get over it? And it's like, oh, wait, hold on, you might be onto something. Then we'll have posts where it's like, am I the asshole for trying to make sure the dog was fed? And it's like, yeah, you kidnapped the dog and, strangled a hamster and completely vandalized a wall in the process with wet dog food. Yeah, you're the asshole. Ah, the duality of am I the asshole. But back to the main post, let me know what you all think in the comment section below, for those of you who are watching this on YouTube. That one guy from Good Girls. Am I the asshole for not congratulating my friend on publishing a book? So, A friend of mine recently self-published a children's book on Amazon. She made a big announcement on social media about how excited she was to start this new chapter in her life as an author. She also texted me about it, and I responded that it was really cool, and that I'd buy a copy when I could afford it. I also asked what the story was about, and she told me. I'd have to buy it to find out. Later, my husband saw the cover and was curious if it was AI generated. I asked my friend who her illustrator was, and she said she'd used Canva AI. Personally, I didn't really care either way, so I just didn't reply to that message right away. A few hours later, she followed up asking why I had asked. I wasn't on my phone, so I didn't see it right away. When I didn't respond again, she sent another message basically saying, "Are you going to reply or not?" I told her I was just curious. I didn't want to mention that someone else thought it looked like AI since I felt that would come across as rude. She then sent a long message along the lines of, "I already have one friend criticizing my book, and then there's you. No congratulations, just asking about the artwork, as if you're trying to find something negative. So, why don't you be honest about why you're asking?" I replied, "Please calm down. I can't afford to buy your book right now. When people are proud of something, they usually enjoy talking about it, so I thought asking questions was a way to show I was interested." She didn't respond after that. Later, her husband, who I work with, mentioned that she was upset I didn't congratulate her. I have no choice but to be at their house soon for an overnight visit, and I'm already dreading any potential awkwardness. Should I approach her once I'm there, or just camp out in the guest room and hole up until the last minute? Me and him will have a tight schedule that morning, to avoid any potential conversation. I genuinely wasn't trying to downplay her new book. The first thing that came to mind was to ask questions to show support, since I couldn't buy it. But now I'm wondering if I was unintentionally dismissive. Edit to add, I hope I didn't intentionally mislead, but when I looked back at our texts, I didn't use the word cool, I said the story sounded funny. She marketed it as a hilarious story to read at bedtime, and the title has shock value. And maybe that makes it better or worse? I'll just paste the exact text I sent initially in response to her text about the book. When I can, I'll totally buy a copy. What's the story? It sounds funny. Tinfoil hat theory. Because this is a children's book and probably contains pictures, I wonder how many of the images were AI generated. And someone probably also texted her asking if there was AI generation used, and she got incredibly defensive. Then who knows whether it was before or after that text. She also had OP's text asking about the illustrator, which she then knew was AI, and then got even further defensive about it. Trying to change the subject from "I used AI for the illustrator" to "Why can't you just be happy for me?" That's just a tinfoil hat theory though. But not the asshole. You just tried to have an honest conversation with them about their book and they got incredibly defensive about it, and began to become hostile, which makes it harder to congratulate someone who's actively at your throat. So, entirely understandable, in my opinion. Perfect Sense 3212. Am I the asshole for breaking the curfew my flatmate set for me because I hang out with guy friends? Please keep this in mind, Reddit has deemed this person the asshole. I live in a flat with 4 other girls. We're uni students who met in first year and decided to stay living together. One of the girls, Anna, has kind of taken on a self-appointed flat mom role. I generally get along with the girls and love living with them. That being said, I'm definitely closer with my course mates. My course is male-dominated, so most of my friends are guys. I just naturally click better with them because we share interests and hobbies. Regardless, I still care about my flatmates and regularly spend time chatting with them during the day, and hanging out 3 or 4 nights a week for 3+ hours at a time. A few weeks ago, Anna told me she felt like I was prioritizing my male friends too much, and it was pulling me away from the flat and from more important things, like flat movie nights or studying. She said it was causing tension in the flat, so to fix it, she made a curfew for me. Just me. The rules were, 1. Don't leave the flat after 6 p.m. without asking Anna first, and 2. Never leave between 6 p.m. and 9 a.m. to see a guy. I was really taken aback. I didn't want to start a fight, so I reluctantly agreed. I still hung out with the flat like Anna wanted, but the whole thing felt controlling, and I just felt kinda down, and like I didn't fit in. The girls are into makeup, fashion, celebrity gossip, wine, movie nights, social media drama, and I feel awkward, nerdy, and kinda humiliated when I try to join in. After about a week of following the curfew, a couple of girls told me they agreed, that it was ridiculous. They offered to cover for me if I wanted to pop out. I decided they were right, but I disagreed that we needed to keep it a secret. I didn't want to cause drama from lying or hiding things, so I said that there's no need to straight up tell Anna, but if she asks, then please just be honest. I didn't want to cause a rift between us, but also, I can't hide in a flat every evening because one person doesn't like my friends. So, that night, I went out and met a guy from my course. We went for a walk to a wilder area of campus where our professor had told us we could find a couple rarer species of wildlife. I was gone for maybe 2 hours. When I got back, Anna was waiting by the door. I tried to talk to her, but she just said, "I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed." Which made a couple of the girls snicker since Anna tries hard to exude that mom energy. Anna hasn't spoken to me since. Now it's tense. She's clearly upset with me for breaking the rule, even though it wasn't something we agreed on as a group, and no one else supported it. I tried to respect her feelings, but I also think it's overstepping to police who I see or when I go out. I wrote her a note to apologize for breaking the rule without speaking to her first, but she's still avoiding me. I really don't want this to cause some awkward tension for all of us, especially as we have to live together. Am I the asshole for not following the curfew she tried to enforce? And Reddit, on cue as usual, is fucking down here victim blaming. With 4,500 upvotes, the river ever flows comments, "You're the asshole. This is a joke, right? Can someone truly be so weak as to simply allow other people to take charge of their lives because the other person decided to? Straighten up your back, stand tall, and tell that self-appointed master in a calm and confident tone, nope, live your life, and not hers. I would strongly recommend that you use this moment to do a complete reassessment of how you make your way through life. This is a deep-rooted problem that needs life-altering change." Oh, and it continues, by the way. Scarlet, not that one. You're the asshole for ever agreeing that Anna could be in charge of you and make rules for you. Just tell her that she's not your mom and you don't agree to that bullshit. Pleasant Sound 3040. Everyone sucks here. You are all adults. Anna can be her controlling tyrant by herself. If she has such a need to put herself above the others, and you can grow a spine. You should have laughed in her face with her ridiculous demand and immediately made it clear you're not going to follow it. Anna is delusional for even coming up with that kind of idea. And with only 170 upvotes from Vivian Diane, not the asshole, Anna's curfew was unreasonable, controlling, and frankly ridiculous. You're an adult, not a child, and she has no right to dictate when you can leave the flat or who you can spend time with. The fact that she singled you out with these rules, especially ones that specifically target your male friendship, is a major red flag. Those were the comments that I was looking for, of, not the asshole, you don't have to abide by this, your roommate's being fucking crazy, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, not, you're the asshole for not standing up for yourself. One of my biggest problems here is that a lot of people don't actually know how they'll react when the rubber hits the road. You can say, yeah, I'll definitely stand up for myself and say no, but you don't actually know that you will until you encounter a scenario that puts you in a box. And it's because everyone is going to react differently when the road actually hits the rubber. Wait, no, when the rubber hits... How did I fuck that up? Anyways, when the rubber meets the road, everyone's going to react differently. OP, unfortunately, was a people pleaser, and yeah, they've paid the price for that. But they're trying to figure out where to go next, and being told, yeah, you're the asshole, grow a fucking spine, isn't doing anyone any good. We could literally just simply swap things around a little bit and have a post that's just, my husband won't let me go out at night. What can I do? Well, you see, you're actually the asshole because you allowed your husband to impose that curfew on you. You should really grow a spine. You want to look at maybe the other fucking red flags that are out there and do something useful with your keyboard? Like, we literally had that as a post like a couple days ago, if I'm not mistaken. Like, seriously. What is with this? Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code OZ at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.